Dear, dear viewers, greetings and salutations. Fortunately for you, I'm back with another video. Um, Going to take my mind off of stuff right now. Again, like I said in my short, in case you haven't seen it, I'll post links to the charities if you feel like helping out down here, but we're fine. And we still have a roof overhead and we have power, but a lot of people didn't get blessed the same way we did. And so there's a lot of people hurting today. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. So, we're going to do our part. Anyways, we're going to be, to get back on topic. Last week, I talked about starting possibly a Let's Play solo play series on this channel, just to kind of go through. Those of you that haven't caught it, or maybe, just haven't had the time to see it, we're going to be primarily using Forge, the fantasy open role playing game engine by Oliver Fradley, is how I'm going to pronounce it. And it's got some nifty mechanics in here. It's got an oracle. It has advantage and disadvantage. It's a classless system. It's got name generator. It's got a lot of generators, and pretty good bang for your buck for a little. Not even 70 pages, I don't think. I think it was like 50 something, and most of them are the last 12 are player aids. So, pardon me, but he crams a lot of stuff in there. So, um, the cool part is you can hack and chop it and use it however you want. And one of the ways I'm going to use it is I looked at the initiative system, and I mentioned it before, but it's very close to the following thing that I'm going to plug into it. And and of course, yes, I do have the second cover. White Box Fantasy Medieval Adventure game by Charlie Mason. Very similar. Very similar setup on initiative. Couple of differences, but since they're so similar, I'm just going to use White Box for that. And possibly the treasure generator in White Box and the Wandering Monster encounters, especially when coming up with a Wandering Monster table. Probably going to use that um, because I feel like the White Box does it really, really well. Uh, Plus, if we really wanted to go with its HP pool, its hit dice pool is essentially very similar to what Forge is doing. So, I mean, there's a little familiarity in there. So, there you go. Now, unfortunately, something that White Box does not have is a number of monsters occurring in a lair or wandering. So, we might want to come up with something on the fly. Plus, we would like to have a couple of extra player options just in case we have a death. If we felt like playing a dwarf cleric, or maybe an elf mage, or what have you. Well, that's where the next thing comes in, and we're of course going to take it back to basics. A very OG representation on the channel is, of course, Basic Fantasy RPG by Chris Garman. This is a new copy. My older copy is being retired because it's so dog-eared, and I mean, I've used it and abused it, and I'm surprised. I mean, for a $5 book, it held up for such a long time. So there you go, Garmin and Company. You make really good, affordable things for dirt cheap, and they last a pretty good while. So plus, even if the glue would have fell apart on day one, it was a $5 book, so I could just literally just take the pages and stick them in like a binder or something. But anyways, and plus you could come up with has rules for coming up with like bandit groups, and has additional um, treasure generation and stuff like that. So we could probably go with that if we felt like using that. Now the one thing about Forge is that the tables are pretty exhaustive. They're D66 based, and so but they only cover so much. And so what do we want to do if we want to cover a little bit more within our solo game? Well, that's where the next product comes in, and we are of course going to be using Sandbox Generator by Atelier Clandestine, and it's got good hex map generation tool. It's got a good way to come up with a town on the fly, come up with some subplots and stuff like that. Uh, Putting a castle or a keep inside the town, naming it, coming up with a name for the lord, coming up quick on the fly the treasure that might be in that keep, how many people are in the dungeon slash jail, how strong is the defense of set, like what how many guards does this place have, who's how strong is the lieutenant, how strong is the bodyguards that are actually guarding um, the more important people, and how many of them are there, and then like what are the defenses, moat, walls, towers, portcullis, that kind of thing. Some additional features like banners. Um, Comes up with like how many months could the keep uh, like uh, fight off a siege. How many months of food worth is it actually in the keep? That kind of thing. So it's very interesting to look at. Um, Now for a couple things that finally came in the mail. I'm going to be talking about, of course, a couple products here. All right, so for my younger viewers, this will need a little explanation, but one of the first ones is the Dungeon Morph cards by Inkwell Ideas. This is the crypts, layers, and sewer designs, which are pretty much, I mean, that's what your dungeons are, really, when you think about it. And it comes with 72 map cards that are reversible. So, like, they have a front, they have a back. And, at random, you can just pull one out, flip them over if you want. So, there's 4. And I just came up with a dungeon map on the fly. And you simply just kind of, demonstrate to my younger viewers how you do. You piece them together, and you come up with something like that. The history behind it for my younger viewers is TSR used to make geomorph cards back in the day. And a lot of publishers still do. They took that idea because a lot of them liked it because it was something to do on the fly, that was quick and easy to do. Didn't have to draw out a map necessarily. They typically came as one big giant sheet, and it looked like a big giant mess of a dungeon. Like none of it made sense, and this, that, and everything else. But what the purpose was they were kind of sectional, so you would cut them apart and then tape them together, typically, or possibly even redraw it out on one piece of paper, for example. So, like, if you decided you really liked the idea of what you came up with, but you don't like the features, and it does have a map key on the back of the box. So if like you're somebody who doesn't understand the keys, for somebody that's used to the classic design, you'll know what they mean. But they'll tell you what's a chest, what's a trap trigger, what's an altar, that a statue, etc., etc. But like you could, like, of course, redo them on a piece of graph paper and then just kind of come up with ideas from there. It seems to assume that one square is 10 feet, is the typical classical approach to it. So the old school way of doing things. And now finally, the last product that we're going to be taking a look at, that I'm also going to utilize in this game, is another Inkwell Ideas product. This is Side Quests. Dungeons, Caves, and Ruins Fantasy 54 Adventure Outline and Map cards. And, it gives you some more additional products on this card. And basically a synopsis slash like product description, what's exactly on the box on this card. So you have a couple different cards. You really do have 54 adventure ideas, and you could just pick them out at random. Here's one just to do it random. So it comes up with this one is the Minotaur's Maze Labyrinth Puzzle. Minotaur's Maze is especially confusing. The section getting the PCs involved, and it goes into like how to get the PCs involved in this dungeon and stuff like that. Ideas for why they would want to come here, the encounters that they could come up with, how do you successfully go about this dungeon and run it. Um, Follow up adventure ideas. So if you wanted to come up with make it into like a bigger thing than what it is, uh, and there you go. Like for example, like if the Minotaur is exiled from his maze, do the PCs run into him again somewhere down the line in the future? And this particular one, of course, it has a map on the back, and of course, it's a Minotaur's maze. Typically, you're going to know what that looks like. So you could probably draw this out on a map, explaining what it is and this, that, and everything else, or perhaps it's connected to a larger dungeon. Another one, because I'm looking at the map right here and I love to look at it. Another one that we're looking at is the Trial, which is a legal puzzle ruins. An ancient creature sits in judgment in a crumbling court. It claims great authority and will only allow those who pass the trials it sets to leave. So, like getting the PCs involved. PCs possibly have trespassed upon this domain. The PCs might represent a larger group that seeks to free itself from the curse of the judge laid upon them. Encounters, the PCs must explain why they should be allowed a chance to take the trials and go free. Come up with a trial of the mind, which is a puzzle to be solved. A trial of the body, a deadly obscure course with assailants. A trial of the soul, a difficult moral dilemma. Events indicate the judge might not be as powerful as it implies. So there's an idea right there, and of course it leaves up to interpretation who, what the judge is. It just says a creature, so it could be a human, could be a monster, could be an NPC or something. Follow up adventure ideas. They complete the trials. The judge offers them a boon to set things straight once more. If they confront the judge and his attendants, a great battle awaits. That kind of thing. Like just some cool little ideas on what to do. Some were very simple. Oh yeah, and I love the map because of course it's very Dyson logosy. This one does have a grid on the back. It's one of the few that does. But it's a very these are awesome. Really cool ideas for like let's say I didn't feel like doing dice rolls. I could just pick up one of these cards and start something, perhaps tweak it in the middle of solo play, or I mean, of course, this isn't just for solo play. This is something that you come up with at your table, right? So there you go. I mean, the whole point is to have fun and run a game. So I mean, there you go. That's pretty much what the game plan is for this video. So yeah, I'm hoping to see you guys on the other side on this one. Actually, before I go, I could tell you about the starting area that I've come up with. So, because I've talked about our early players, so this is what I've come up with. So the starting town, it's in the middle of grassland. It's mostly grassland surrounding it, although there are a couple of hexes of marshes, hills, and mountains. No forests yet, but that's just what I've come up with so far. I haven't put anything else in those hexes. And I apologize. I forgot to turn my ringer and stuff off. So if like you hear the vibration of my phone, I've had people messaging me all morning. So and I understand why. So it's not an inconvenience. I just forgot to turn the notification off for the video. So apologies. So the starting town, we rolled up the size using Forge, and we come up with small town of approximately 1,000 people. The town's name is Anna's Abbey, which was something we brought from the sandbox generator. Main occupations of people that live here: brewing / viticulture, which is winemaking or brewing beer, and farming crops, of course, and that makes sense. You need to farm grapes, you need to farm wheat and barley and stuff like that. So there you go. Of course, we're going to presume other vegetables and stuff like that as well. Um, Public buildings, a temple, carpenters, a public bath, and gallows. So we've already got this idea, and of course, Anna's Abbey, an abbey being like more of a religious thing. Um, so of course, it has a temple. That makes sense. Carpenters, okay, woodworking. There you go. And it makes sense for the keep that I'll talk about here in a second. Public bath, okay, well that's kind of like a just a nice little uh, amenity for the public to use. I mean, people. So it seems like people really care about being clean here. And then gallows. So we're going to assume that well, we know that capital punishment is a thing here, and it's probably a public event whenever it happens, like it always was in history up until recently. Um, there are slums, and in the slums you have a forgotten shrine and an empty building, and so our starting characters are probably because of how I described them, probably going to be from the slums, and honestly it kind of makes sense given their backgrounds that I came up with. So, I mean, random rolls are fun, or perhaps just the interpretation of random rolls are fun. Settlement focus focuses on history, building, engineering, and crafting. Okay, this makes some sense. This makes some sense. So small town, but it seems like they got a lot of smart, well-to-do people here. Leadership is a military dictatorship, and its quality is that it seems effective, like it seems to work for this, and that's probably one of the features of the gallows. So probably some traitors to the Lord probably executed here. The Lord is named Artigo Oakwood. Um, he's a level 10 fighter, so that seemed like the easiest way to come up with a power level for this guy, like his influence and his strength of military. Of course, the castle's name is Castle Oakwood. I just named Artigo Oakwood after the castle. The castle is also in perfect condition, so um, it's been very well upkept. So I mean that makes sense. So there you go. Um, the keep is round, has 2 levels. The jail contains 3 commoners and 3 nobles. It can resist a siege for 5 months, and it holds 30,000 gold pieces. So no gems or jewelry, no magic items, but it does hold quite a good haul of gold pieces for a more. But our Griff probably doesn't know that, but maybe we'll see. Defense has a mont, which is like a mound. Um, has stone walls and towers. It has a wooden palisade, and it has a moat. The towers and walls are square. The enclosure is in the shape of a hexagon. So we're going to have like a tower here, then this. You know what a hexagon is. You don't need me to explain it. Gatehouse closes via a portcullis and a wooden door. The moat contains piranha. That was a fun little random roll. Uh, it garrisons 90 fighters, so he's got 90 fighters. He has a lieutenant who's a level 8 fighter, and 6 level 7 bodyguards. And so that's what we got for our starting town on that side. Um, Everything else we're just going to kind of randomly come up with on the fly as we go through this. So we'll find out. And so it seems like we probably want to start with a more urban kind of adventure to start off with, and then we can go into the more wildernessy kind of random crazy stuff. We'll see. But anyways, I've rambled on for too long. So as always, guys, thank you. God bless. See you on the other side, and uh, hug your families tight today. So thank you.